Welcome to Handcrafted by G.R. Broussard. I'm Greg Broussard, and today we have a pleasure of working on this antique bed. The rails have come loose and we're flopping around in the footboard and the headboard, and there's one piece on the headboard we have to fix. So I came in with the gouge and I extended the slot down just a tiny bit so I can remove the bolt here. And it slides in, and then you use a nail or what you have to tighten that down. So I had to take this out so I could test the original holes on the headboard and footboard to make sure the nuts inside there are lined up, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. So I just extended the original part down just a tiny bit. This is what the original side, the other side looks like, and you can see how I got my gouge in like the original. I pulled the other side down. You can see the reason why I did the other side is look how much I'd have to take out on this one to get it out. It was just so tight. So they gouged out and they hammered that in, and I'm not taking this one out. But you can see on here in the original where they came in with a chisel and they hand chiseled this out. This is all done by hand right here. It's a chisel mark right down there. It might even be this chisel, this size chisel right here. Bam, and hit it again right there, hit it again. So that's how this was done. This was done with a gouge bigger than this one, I'm sure, but that's how that was made. So got these out. Well, got one out, the one that I need. That's perfect. This is the footboard right here, right? And this is the inside. And then this will go in. You can hear it hit that nut, and it screws into that nut, right? And it tightens down fine. It works on all the holes except for one. And it's this one right over here on the headboard on the inside. We'll have to fix this too. But there's a nut in there, but the problem is the nut is down, dropped, it's off to the side in there. So this isn't lining up. And this is a mortise and tenon situation where this will go in. Before they assembled it, they put that nut inside and embedded it into the wood. If the tenon that comes up in here. And that's why these are so shallow, because you don't want to compromise this being weak. And I can't get this in there, so I'm going to attempt to get that nut that's in there and move it. If I can't do that, there's two things I can do to fix it originally. Take this off, realign it, or take a little bit of this material out down here, which I'm going to try first so we don't have to do major operation on this thing. And then we'll fix this other stuff later. But we got to get this. Once this is in, then we'll be good to go. Okay, you can see that this one finds threads and it screws in. It gets tight. This bolt is aligned how it's supposed to be. If you look on the scope, you can see the threads in there right here, and this is the rusted nut that's inside of it, right? So we're going to look on the other side. You can see, it won't go all the way down, but this is the side of the nut. That's part of the little silver part's part of the nut too, right? And it's buried on this side. So what we're going to do is take a little bit of this out on the side right in here. We're going to try to do that. Before we do major surgery and have to take this whole thing off, let's try that first. See, the screw goes down and you can't start the threads on it. So that's the problem that we're having with this one. So you can see how that nut way down there, it's off centered. And before I take this whole piece off and take this out, because this is a mortise and tenon in here, and then that nut is in the tenon that's in here. But I'm thinking without doing all that surgery, what we can do is come in with a chisel. I'm gonna have to resharpen this because I know I'm gonna hit that nut. We're gonna take some of this off with the chisel, one of these chisels, or I'll have to find another one. Try to get that out. Let's try that first so we can see if that thing can sit in there. I just want to stay, I don't want to booger up my chisel. I don't want to take too much of this off. So we're going to try to prevent complete major surgery if we can. And that's definitely a possibility. If I can expose it. Yeah, I'm getting down in there. I think I got it. If this screws in, yep, I hear it catching. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Look at this. this should function properly now. And I've already measured the distance from the how this pulls this in, and you have enough meat to pull it in tight like you're supposed to. So there we go. Oh man, that's awesome. That just huge. Now if we put the scope in there, you can see the nut, you can see the threads. That's the shiny part's the nut, and the threads are right there. So we're successful. That screw goes right down where it's supposed to be. That's perfect. The other issue with this bed is they had dropped it and this came loose and it actually broke back here. And this will be a pretty easy fix. See this piece here? And this is just doweled in. Try to remove this. Got a pine wedge, it's super soft. I wrap it in a paper towel, and the wedge, the dowel is about right here. We're going to use pine because it'll squish down, the fibers will squish and they're softer than this oak. What this thing is made out of, it might be mahogany. Can't tell right now. Just a little bit motivation there. There we go. Ah, yes. Super careful. This side. I don't want to break this any more than it is over here. Ta-da. Alright, here's what we're dealing with. Okay, let's get into this. Okay, we got it set up. We have a wet paper towel, dry paper towel on standby. I made this this brace here. I cut it at the angle that this goes in. This surface and this surface are parallel. I came in with a compass plane and made sure there was no hard wood sticking out to damage this. And we've got to clamp this down, and we have to clamp this all together and apply our glue. And we have a little bit of glue over here, and we have to clamp it this way. So this is a really bad one. Once this is done and it starts drying, we'll work on the headboard, and then we'll come back and glue the dowels on this side. Let's go ahead and glue this one up. See if it held together. Where this was broken, there's a little wood that's out of place, a little glue there, and same with the other side. So we're going to use this number 3, the Stanley number 3, and we're going to chew it up, make it flat. Put dowel centers in here. I'm going to line this up with the original marks. Put my dowel center in. And check this side. Make sure she's lined up nice and good. Like perfect. Needs to come this way just a little bit. Maybe like right there. Looks right. Looks right. I'm going to mark it. Now, we know where to drill. Now I just got to get the depth of the hole, and I'll do the depth on both of them. I'll mark that depth on my dowel, and then I'll check this hole. And I'll add that depth to it. Let's see if you can see it this way. And I'll take it back just a little bit because I don't want the dowels to bottom out when I put it together. So I need 2 dowels that long. Before we attach the piece, I'm just going to come across with this a little soapy water and start I'm just going to get some of the dirt off this thing. You know? Just a little damp soapy water in here. It's just Dawn dishwashing, you know, soap kind of stuff. I just want to clean this. Look at that. I think I'm going to attach this tomorrow when I deliver it, if weather permits. and it'll stay right there. I'm afraid I'm gonna break it off during transportation. Okay, you see this little piece of trim right here? He's missing one from right on this side, I noticed. Right here, he's missing one. So I'm gonna make one. Okay, I found a plane that would work. And this is probably the closest to the profiles I can get, is like that. Just about that. So I'm going to make another one for the bottom, but I'll make it out of mahogany. And I'll color it and I'll attach it for them to the base. And I'll make some extra just in case something else pops off this thing. What I'm doing is introducing a little bit of denatured alcohol to this area with the caked on glue. I don't want to get it on the piece because this is shellac or lacquer on here. We don't want to get it all squishy. And then I'll very gently come down with my chisel and work this old stuff off. So we'll have a decent spot to glue our new corner piece on. See, this will go right here. So we want to get some of this old stuff off. I'm going to go ahead and clean the rest of this up off camera, and we'll color the new trim. I did a test piece. It's a Mohawk brown cherry toner and Minwax red oak number 215. You can see the end of that matches pretty decently. Move it around. So the end of this is done. So I'm gonna get my parts. I'm gonna drill the holes in the parts for putting the nails in there so I don't crack them. I don't think I'm gonna glue them on. And then we'll color the parts and then we'll attach them. I had to make this piece again because I lost the original one. So anyway, so we just have Minwax red oak 215, and we apply the color. We're not going to apply it to the back because I am going to I think I'm going to put a little dab of glue back there, and we just let this dry, and this should work exactly like I tested it. It should be. And after that we're going to spray it with the toner, the brown cherry, and that'll match the color, and I'll put that patina on there. It'll look really cool. So we're going to use the Mohawk cherry brown for the final color, and you'll see it give it that tiny bit of darker color. It's kind of reddish, and that will match. From the experiment, should match perfect. This stuff dries fast, so we'll just give this a few minutes and then we'll do the shellac. I've got some shellac mixed up, and it's a super blonde stuff. It's really cool, and I mix it up and you weigh it and you stir it and all that. The little crystals, and it works really well. But this was October 2021. This stuff is bad. Didn't know it was that old, so I'm going to go with the spray-on shellac for those parts. I want to try to match the shine that's on the bed right now is what I want to do. So we're going with this. All nice and dry. Just a quick coat of shiny. Okay, this is the tricky part. These pre-drilled holes are a tiny bit too big, but the head of the nail won't go through there. But I'm going to apply just a little glue. Not much, just a little bit. This is not hide glue. This is just modern tight bond glue. And I just lost a nail down there. I have to find it. Oh, yes, I got it. Okay. One thing that's good about it, it's a nail holder for me. So It's going to be tricky because I got to line this 45 up exactly where it goes so they match. I don't want to not line up miters that are really good. So that should be right there. Okay. Those pilot holes are just a tiny bit too big, but I'm gonna put the nail in like that. There we go. Oh yeah, miters line up really nicely. That's perfect. Okay, let's apply glue to our second part. I went back to the sanding block that was on the glass, the sandpaper that was glued on glass, and got the stuff off here. The stain that I put on there. Now let's put the nail in. Line our miters up. This miter should work out just perfect if I can get it lined up. Just gonna sink that one. I'll countersink it in a minute. These are originally held on by nails, so we're doing that. Last one. We'll come back with the countersink them. Don't want to crack this at all, so I drill those pilot holes in it. All right. Get the paper towel, clean that up. Now I come back with one of the markers. Well, they're actually staying in here, and I'll hit the top of that nail and then dab it off the wood so it doesn't change the color of the wood. I get rid of the silver just like that. So there's the part. I didn't put too much shine on it, I don't think. It's got that right kind of color of patina on it. It matches the bed really, really well. The plane that was used to make this is what, 1850s, 1860s. This bed is late 1800s, early 1900s, something like that. So, right tool for the right job. Came out really, really nice. So now I'm gonna say it's complete. So now, on to the next one.